Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Best Practices for Marketing Field Service. I'm Sara Nicastro, Editor-in-Chief of Field Technologies, and I'll be moderating today's event. As field service has become more widely recognized as a profit center, the need for marketing services has been born. There are some companies that I think are already thinking about this and acting on this and making changes in their business to do a good job at this. And there's other folks that for them it's such a new way of thinking with new ideas, new concepts, new processes that it's something that they're maybe just becoming aware of. But whether you're in the first category or the second category, there's a lot to learn about marketing field service, and that's what we're here today to talk about. The goal for today is to help you wrap your head around what's involved in field service marketing and provide some advice for how to do it well. Today you're going to hear from Melinda Orenberg, Customer Marketing Manager at ServiceMax. I think you will find Melinda's insight very beneficial. After Melinda shares some information with us, we are going to be holding a question and answer session. That being said, you can feel free to submit questions as we go along and you think of them. We will get to as many as possible during the Q&A, and any that we don't have time for, we will certainly follow up on after today's event. We're also going to ask you guys a couple quick questions during the presentation so that we can get an idea of where you're at with your business, and also so you can see how you compare with your peers that are in attendance today. But before we ask you that first poll question, let me hand it over to Melinda to introduce herself and give us an overview of what she's going to be covering today. Melinda?
Great. Well, thanks so much, Sarah, for that introduction. And hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today's webinar. We're going to be discussing why service marketing is difficult in the first place. We're also going to talk about aligning your service team, your marketing team, and your sales team all together. Finally, we're going to talk about how underlying technologies can impact your brand perception and do a little bit of inbound marketing 101. And for each of these topics, I'm going to be highlighting the way that ServiceMax has worked with our customers in these different areas.
Awesome. That sounds good. So let's take a quick look now at the first poll question. You should have that live on your screen. And what we're looking for here is to understand what your organization is currently doing as far as marketing field service. So are you marketing? Are you not marketing field service? Or are you looking to get started with that? So let's take a second there. If everyone can kind of type in their responses, that would be great. Still have a few people answering here, and then we'll take a look at the results. Okay, so let's take a look here. It looks like, what do we have here? We have about 50% that are, about 23% that are not, and about 26% that are in the process of getting started. So a good range of responses for the presentation today. Melinda, I'll let you go ahead and continue on.
Great. Well, thanks so much for participating in that poll question. That's really helpful to see kind of where everybody's at with field service marketing. So I wanted to kick today's webinar off with a bit of a disclaimer. I am by no means an expert marketer. In fact, I actually do customer marketing here at ServiceMax. And my role is customer marketing, and I want to help our customers share their field service story. We wanted to create this customer marketing role because we saw an opportunity to work with our customers to do joint storytelling. We've often heard that service marketing is one of the biggest challenges facing service managers and executives today. And I have a feeling if you're logged into this webinar, you might have had some challenges in your own organization in the past, or perhaps you're interested in revitalizing your own service marketing effort. Sorry, I hope everyone can see the slides here. I'm not being able to see them, so we'll get that figured out, but I'm going to keep on going here. We're going to start off with why marketing services is difficult in the first place. And historically, companies have been product-focused. So if a company is focused entirely on their product, not on their services, then the product side of the business is often seen as the end game instead of the starting point for recurring and future revenue growth. By giving away service to lower margins, companies are devaluing their service. Because of this historical focus from product-centered companies, much of the marketing knowledge and efforts are based on products. And it's not trying to market a service like a product, but it's trying to market service on its own. And when you try to market service like a product, it's like trying to hammer a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't work. More recently, academic scholars have found that services are different than goods and that there are distinct models to understanding the marketing of services to customers. Next slide. Service marketing has been talked about over the past couple of decades as the process of delivering value to your customers. And to effectively market your company's services, there needs to be a focus on both the products and equipment and the service. This dichotomy is changing with acknowledgement of the service department's ability to drive corporate profitability, and companies are having a laser focus on their customers. So I wanted to show you guys this graph from Forrester Research just to help give you some context. You'll see here that this is a timeline, and it starts off in the age of manufacturing in the 1900s. And then it goes to the 1960s, where we have the age of distribution, and then finally the age of information, and now we have what Forrester is calling the age of the customer. And the reason why we're seeing this as the age of the customer is with the onset of new technologies, empowered buyers are demanding a new level of customer obsession. So let's talk about this customer obsession and how field service can impact that. Okay, so I want to show you guys a traditional customer life cycle here. So when a prospect first hears about your company, it's in the awareness phase. Then it goes to discovery, attraction, interaction, and all the way to purchase. And we'll highlight those later fields when we talk about inbound marketing in a little bit. But I wanted to also discuss the focus of field service and how that impacts your customer after purchase. So then you go into the use stage, the cultivation stage, and the advocacy stage. And this is where field service can really have an impact not only on your brand, but also on your customers. One challenge that we often hear with service marketing is getting leadership buy-in. It's getting the folks at the top of the food chain to understand the importance between product and service, and more importantly, the opportunities. And oftentimes this requires a cultural change for an existing product-centered company. And I'm not sure if you guys have read the Wall Street Journal that came out today. I wasn't able to add this slide in time for the presentation, but I found this really interesting quote that I wanted to share with you. It's actually from Virginia Romedy. She's the CEO of IBM. And she makes a comment on services. She says, any company that makes a product, you want to make it into a service. If you define yourself as a product, you will remain wedded to the past. So I just had come across that quote, and I'm like, wow, that's really actually kind of the topic that we're covering in today's webinar. So I kind of wanted to share that. Because, you know, in today's world, we are in a competitive environment, no matter what industry you're in. And service becomes a way of creating that differentiation or a competitive advantage. It may be something that already exists, and maybe you're just not promoting it yet. And it sounds like, you know, 50% of you are already promoting your field service company. That's great. And another 25% of you are really understanding this and in the process of starting to market your field service organization. So here at ServiceMax, we've actually created this customer transformation team. And that's really in order to help companies unlock the true value of their field service organizations. This team of professionals represent our organization's 350 years of combined field service experience. This team supports companies on their journey looking to transition their field service operations and helps build a business case to executive leadership. For example, Dave Hart is the gentleman on the left, and he's our VP of Global Customer Transformation. And he focuses on working with prospects and existing customers. And he actually started his career in field service as an engineer. And he has decades of field service management and customer transformation experience. And he was most recently leading a Pitney Bowes European service organization. Our team can also help identify some metrics and benchmarks to use in your own stories as you market your field service organization. So these are metrics that your customers would care about, things like first-time fix rates or customer satisfaction. And we call this our business value realization tool. And these can be made available to you working with your account managers. At ServiceMax, it has been our mission since day one to empower every field service technician in the world to deliver flawless field service, and every organization to unleash the growth potential of service. And this has become even more critical as our customers move toward the vision of a service-led economy. Flawless field service, as we define it here at ServiceMax, includes 3 pillars: increased productivity, leveraging every customer interaction to drive growth and revenue, and finally, delighting customers with exceptional service. So once your organization embraces field service as the pillar that supports your customer satisfaction and future revenue growth, next comes alignment with sales and marketing. Field service is a fantastic resource for your marketing team. I'm sure you guys already know this since 50% of you, again, are marketing your field service organization, but they're effective, low cost, and sometimes an overlooked marketing tool. Who really understands and knows your customers better than your engineering team, who you have as your feet on the street? As marketers, we often think about social media, emails, and other types of content, but don't forget that technicians could be your most effective marketing channel. Service technicians are the eyes, ears, and face of your brand. Field service technicians should always engage with customers, whether it's via conversation or providing additional written information, with the goal of creating a positive experience. At training sessions, teach your team to talk with the customer about maintenance that's being done, or better yet, send them a service report after the site visit with a summary of all the work that's been done and future recommendations. This helps to build trust and establish the business as a go-to resource for when other questions or problems arise. The technician should also give customers marketing materials before they leave, such as educational items or maybe coupons. And it's important to remember that great service is its own marketing. So this is a bit of a feedback loop. Technicians, they're not only the extension of your brand, but they also provide great additional details about your customers. These questions are from a recent LinkedIn discussion where several field service managers shared questions that they think marketing and sales should be asking their technicians. And I especially liked the first question. It was, who are the happy customers and why are they happy? And I know as a marketer myself, I always want to hear about our happy customers. And we're constantly on the lookout for customers to speak at events or on webinars like this one. So trust me, your marketing team will really appreciate the feedback. Other ways your marketing team benefits from field service is by driving customer loyalty and being able to gather on-the-ground competitive intelligence. Your sales team also benefits from field service technicians by having visibility into things like installed products and identifying any upsell or cross-sell opportunities. I wanted to show you this image. So there's a lot going on here, bear with me, but this is really talking about the relationship between marketing, sales, and field service. And you can see that it's this continuous feedback loop and how they're all linked together with your customers in the middle. These teams and interactions, they really can't live alone. You need a foundation of underlying technology to help different teams work together in your organization. And it's really for the benefit of your customer. For example, you don't want your technicians reporting completed job details in one system just to return with a handwritten note for your sales team about the extended warranty the customer asked you for. It's just not efficient. Your service technicians hold a lot of valuable customer information, and you want to give them a way to record this customer feedback and ideas on the spot. So when your sales team can act immediately to make an additional sale, or your marketing teams can improve upon what they're selling or maybe how they sell it, you have a good start on building your service revenue. So as we have seen, field service engineers are the secret weapon, and they're a competitive differentiator for your company, and they can really help you grow your service revenue. In order to fully leverage your secret weapon, your field service engineer, you need the right technology. It's important to remember that customers are not just buying a service from you. They're buying an expertise and an experience. The way that your company can facilitate that whole interaction is through technology. I like to, think about this metaphor. Think about the person who has all of their to-do lists and all of important reminders and manages their day on sticky notes. They just have sticky notes everywhere. And maybe they have important things that are on their calendar, but it's scattered everywhere. Now think about the other type of person. This is someone who has everything neatly recorded in their iPhone. They can access it at any time, and they always have their important information that they need to manage their day. Now think about how those two different types of people are perceived by others. It's really similar to a service organization. Technology plays a major role today, impacting what people's experiences and perceptions of the company are. Okay, so we've made a couple points on why your organization needs a modern service management system. And this includes being able to effectively manage different service levels, improving the service delivery process, measuring operations excellence, and it can be leveraged to improve perception and service revenues. So this is not an extensive list by any means. I actually got this from an article by a field service consultant, Michael Bloomberg, and I just wanted to highlight a couple of the things that he pointed out in a modern service management system. I'm sure that if you're currently evaluating different field service systems at the moment, you might have some different items on your list of what you're looking for. But the key tenets of customer service, which are reliability, performance, and attention to detail, these can all be amplified when your technicians are using the right technology. So this is where ServiceMax comes in. ServiceMax is the only complete field service software solution helping companies manage contracts, scheduling, and parts, while also providing solutions for social, portal, and analytics. And this is all delivered in the cloud to any mobile device. We deliver software that brings together the right data at the right moment to delight your customers and drive business results at the crucial point of service. ServiceMax provides the platform for field service, and it's also the first solution for field service enabled by the Internet of Things. In fact, our ServiceMax customers have actually been able to see an increase of 15% on average in their customer satisfaction. We're really happy about that number. And this is because of things that they're doing to improve their customer experience by dispatching technicians who have the skills, parts, and full offline access to the information that they need via field-ready mobile to work faster, smarter, and complete service visits the first time. Our customers are excited that they've been able to increase metrics on those things that their customers care about, such as first-time fix rates. And they want to talk about these successes and are looking for ways to share their field service story through different marketing activities. Okay, so now I'm going to talk a little bit about Inbound Marketing 101. So marketing allows you to build brand awareness, allows you to engage with your target audience, to drive traffic to your website, and ideally, of course, generate sales. But many businesses are still using an old model of marketing, known as outbound, that pushes products or services out to the customer. Now, this strategy, it sounds effective, but a major drawback is that communication is only one way. In recent years, there has been a fundamental shift, and this is in consumer behavior. People are more in control of what information they want to receive, and more importantly, how they receive it. So that's why it's important for businesses to move towards inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is promoting a company through blogs, podcasts, video, social media marketing, and other forms of content. And this marketing serves to attract customers through the different stages of the purchase funnel. So here is the purchase funnel. I got this from a website called HubSpot. If you guys are not familiar with HubSpot, I really recommend this as a great resource. And this walks through the different stages from attract, convert, close, to delight. So let's take a deeper dive into each of these stages. Okay, let's start off with attract. So some of the most important tools to attract the right users to your site are things like blogs and search engine optimization, which is also known as SEO. Now, your marketing team is either doing SEO in-house or they're using an agency to help analytically pick keywords, optimize your pages, create content, and build links around the terms that your ideal buyers are searching for. So let's say, for example, if your company services competitive equipment, you want to make sure that your marketing team knows the latest and greatest information about what those competitive products are, because you want to make sure that your marketing team is including any of those types of keywords in their SEO. So this way, when somebody gets on the internet and they type in a Google search and they're searching for your competitor's product or your competitor's product services, your company will also pop up as well. And that helps you attract more of that incoming traffic. Okay, Sarah, it looks like it's time for our next poll question.
All right, perfect. So what we're curious about here is finding out if your audience is doing any of these inbound marketing activities. So we're asking specifically, has your company ever posted a blog about your field service department? So if you have a moment, go ahead and answer. We're asking you if you have, if your company has. If your company has and you were actually the person that wrote that blog, if your company has not or you're not sure. So let's give you guys a moment there to type in a quick response and then take a look. So let's take a look at the results. It looks like 24% of you have, about 10% of you have, and you were the one that wrote it. 49% have not, and 17% are not sure.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Sarah, for that poll. This is really helpful. I love seeing these numbers. Yeah, 24% have written a blog. That's awesome, and I would love to kind of see who's written those blogs and go check them out, because we're always looking for great, field service blogs, even, again, to promote on our own sites. I like retweeting different field service blogs that I come across, or just seeing the latest and greatest information out there. So this is really, really helpful to see. And so for those folks that haven't written a blog yet, I really encourage you to start. So let's talk a little bit more about blogging, and hopefully this will help provide some inspiration here. I wanted to give you guys 2 examples of great field service blog posts. So the first one here on the left is from McKinley, and the second post on the right is from General Electric. And I really wanted to show this as an example because I think it illustrates really well how companies of any size or industry can blog. It's a simple and easy-to-use platform for connecting with and sharing, different timely and relevant information to your prospects and also your customers. It's really your direct communication channel to these different folks. And I know what you're thinking. Melinda, I don't have time to write a blog. It's just one more thing to add to my day. You have a long to-do list, and writing a blog isn't just really a top priority for you. I get it. I really do. However, there are big benefits of writing blogs. Your blog fuels SEO. Remember how we were talking about SEO before and how important it is to attract visitors. Your blog will help your SEO. Google is depending on unique, relevant, and new content from you on a regular basis. And without it, you might be yesterday's news to a search engine as well as to your customers. So this content needs to be fresh, it needs to be exciting and inviting. And once you get comfortable blogging, start incorporating links to other parts of your site sprinkled throughout your content. Don't go crazy. Just remember, a good rule of thumb is to include maybe 1 or 2 internal links to other sites or other pages on your website. And do this for about every 500 words of content. And your hard work, it's really going to pay off. 60% of businesses who blog acquire more customers, and that's according to a HubSpot survey. And another benefit, and I think this is a really big benefit, is when you do blogging, it's giving your service team a voice. So your corporate marketing team probably does a great job of posting blogs, and they post on a lot of different content. But if you really want to get your field service team's perspective out there, if you want to let your customers and let your prospects know a little bit more about your field service team, blogs are a great way to go. And they're very cost effective. It's a great marketing investment. So who doesn't like that? Okay, let's talk a little bit about social. So if your field service team has interest in generating their own content, make sure to consider the following. You really want to develop a strategy. Think about, are your technicians going to have their own business associated accounts, or are they going to be communicating from a single company account? There's pros and cons to both approaches, so just sit down, think about it, maybe chat with your marketing team about some different approaches that you guys could take. And you really want to educate your team about the do's and don'ts, and training here is a must. I'm sure you guys have seen on the news where there's big brand companies and somebody gets a hold of their Twitter account and posts some ridiculous tweet, and that blows up all over social media. You don't want that happening. So again, just go over those do's and don'ts. And do a trial run with your team. Test your social media strategy out with a few of your technicians before launching this company-wide as a social initiative. Get published. So here we have a fantastic Field Technologies magazine cover with Luminex, and this is Steve Nava on the cover. And you want to remember to always share these interesting stories with your marketing team because, again, they are always looking for content. So, Steve could have shared this with his marketing team. Maybe they tweeted this, they posted this on their own blogs, and it's just great to really be highlighting their field service team and the great things that they're doing within their organization. And again, I really want to highlight that your marketing team is always looking for fresh content. There was a recent survey on LinkedIn, and it stated that the top content marketing challenge was lack of time or lack of bandwidth to create new content. So when you're offering up these different ideas or different content topics to your marketing team, it's a win-win for both of you. Okay, the next stage is convert. So once you've attracted those visitors, it's time to convert them into leads. And some of the most important tools in converting include landing pages, calls to action, and forums. I wanted to show you guys an example. Excuse me, this is a great example from McKinley Equipment's website. Their marketing guru, his name's Dave Karovich, and he's done a great job highlighting McKinley's repair and service offerings as a page on their website. And it even includes a video in the middle, and it's showing their technicians using iPads out in the field. So on the left-hand side and on the top of the page, you'll see there they have the calls to actions. And when you click on one of those call to actions, it actually takes you to a form that is also on their website where you could enter in your contact information and have someone contact you. And McKinley does a great job of including their emergency repair service number and mentioning in several places where they service all brands. Now that you've attracted an audience and converted them into a lead, you need to transform those leads into customers. And there are certain marketing tools that can be used at this stage to make sure you're closing the right leads at the right times. And these tools include things like a CRM system and marketing automation systems. And marketing automation also involves email marketing. So when you do email marketing, don't forget to send emails to your customers. Once your leads become customers, you don't want to stop marketing to them. So make sure to segment your contacts in your CRM system by prospects and your customers. And that way you can really help to tailor and personalize your emails. So here's an example of an email blast that a company sent out to their existing customers announcing their service team and that they were using ServiceMax. Again, your marketing team is always looking for content, so this helped provide content to the marketing team, and it reminded their customers about their preventative maintenance programs. The last phase of inbound marketing is delight. Marketing is all about providing remarkable content to users, whether they be visitors, leads, or existing customers. Inbound companies continue to engage, and they want to delight their customers as well and hopefully upsell them. So you want to have happy customers who are promoting the organization. And the best way to figure out what your users want is by asking them. So use this feedback and surveys to ensure you're providing your customers with what they're looking for. And I'm not sure how many of you guys are sending out surveys right now after technician visits, but there's a lot of great different resources and sites out there that you can use to send out these surveys. Okay, so now's the portion where I kind of want to tell you a little bit about how ServiceMax can help. So ServiceMax can help you not only delight your customers with this modern field service technology, but they can also help enhance their experience. And we can help you create content about your field service team. In working with so many of our own customers, we've heard that field service marketing has been harder to get off the ground in some instances. And because we have this experience creating content as a technology company, and because we are passionate about the field service industry, our customers have appreciated the expertise and use this as an additional resource for field service content. So here are some examples of different marketing activities where we can help tell our customers' modern field service story. These include things like press releases, guest blog posts, trade show collateral, and case studies with your delighted customers. ServiceMax works with our award-winning PR firm to help our clients spread their story out to different publications. And again, this is helping you establish your voice and your company's voice as a leader in your industry and your space. We call this program Marketing Max, and your customers need to know the great things that you're doing in field service. And we really think that, by sharing your field service story and by talking about how you're using a modern field service technology, this is going to help you differentiate your company. And here's on the slide are a couple of different examples that we've done of press releases, videos, and I actually wanted to show you a quick video right now. So hopefully this will start playing, and I'm going to put myself on mute while we show this video. And this is an example of a video we did with the customer end phase.
We're now installing at a higher volume with better quality than ever before. But these systems are attached to our customers' roofs for 20, 30 years. And so these assets need to be tracked, they need to be optimized, and they need to be managed over time. Our ServiceMax platform, in conjunction with our Enlighten monitoring system, allow us to provide this end-to-end solution for the solar industry to manage the assets over time. The end-phase microinverter really changed the game in solar. Instead of having one large central inverter on the side of your house, we put smaller distributed microinverters under every single panel. This means that we know in near real time exactly what's happening with every panel on every system, and we're able to be truly proactive in our service. We're able to take the raw performance data that we're getting back at headquarters, translate that into work orders in the field, and our technicians are empowered with their iPads and the ServiceMax application to go fulfill those work orders many times before the customer even realizes that there's an issue. We put that control in their hands because they know their schedule best and they know the customers best. So what the ServiceMax platform enables is real-time collaboration. It allows our techs to really manage the customer experience better, and it streamlines all the information. Instead of the customer finding an issue and calling us at headquarters and us having to get a tech out there as soon as possible, we're now finding that issue ahead of time. It allows our techs to really manage the customer experience better and ultimately leads to happier customers.
Okay, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that little video. It's pretty quick. It's 1 minute and 47 seconds. That is a good length of video if you guys want to be, showing off your field service team. You want to do something quick, something that you can share across social channels, something you can post on your website, something that you can send out in different email campaigns. And you can also do interviews with your customers. Maybe you want to do a video where it's a customer testimonial, talking to your customers about how happy they are using your services and what are the results that they've been able to see. Maybe it's things like increased uptime, or their own customers are happier because they're able to provide a better service for them with your products. So that's been today's webinar about marketing your services. I wanted to give you guys some additional resources at the bottom here. This was the HubSpot article where it talked about inbound marketing. There's also a Huffington Post article where it kind of aggregates a bunch of different blogging tips. Again, blog. I think it's a great thing to be doing. We also have a site called fieldservice.com. It's Field Service Digital that has a lot of different marketing articles, and of course, Field Technologies Online. So with that, Sarah, I'll hand it back over to you, and we can do some questions.
Thank you, Melinda. Awesome presentation, very good insight on a topic that I think is going to continue to pick up speed. So let's get to a couple questions here, and anyone that is in the audience, if you have anything you want to ask Melinda about the topic of marketing field services or about MarketingMax specifically, go ahead and get those typed in now. To start, Melinda, there's a question here that is asking, we're talking about the importance of blogging and how big of an impact that can have. And it's asking which social sites are most important to be posting on. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. I think that is a great question. You want to consider where your prospects and customers are online. So maybe if you sell to more of the professional crowd, they'll be on LinkedIn. Maybe if you service more residential areas, they're going to be on Facebook. So start thinking about where those customers and prospects are, and that's where you want to be posting. I personally think it's a good rule of thumb to do all three. Do LinkedIn, do Facebook, do Twitter. Maybe you're going to have a different type of message for those different social channels. And another thing is ask your customers. Maybe they're in different, LinkedIn groups, different type of user groups. Go out there, ask your customers, chat with them, talk to them, and then get posting in those different places where they're at.
Perfect. Okay. The next question is asking, how much does MarketingMax cost?
So MarketingMax is actually a complimentary service that we give to our customers. So it just comes as part of being a ServiceMax customer. And we kicked this off about a year ago, and we just wanted to do it because we're very passionate about field service and wanting to share our customer successes that they've been able to see, using ServiceMax or in their field service space. So it's complimentary as a ServiceMax customer. The only caveat I would say to that is with videos. It just depends kind of on how you want to use the videos, but we do work with an outside video vendor, so there would just be some costs associated with that. But again, I think you guys should have my email from this webinar. If not, we can definitely follow up with folks afterwards, and we can kind of talk about, what you're looking to do for your organization or for marketing your organization, and would love to kind of strategize and talk about a couple of different ideas.
Awesome. Okay. So here's a good question for you. We're talking about the importance of blogging. How do you handle negative comments on blogs?
Oh my gosh, that is a great question. I think that negative blog comments, it's part of the space. There are going to be people out there that have things to say, whether it's negative or positive, but it keeps it real. It's showing that you're not censoring those comments. You don't want to go and delete those comments because then you'll look like you're censoring your site. You should always reply back to those comments. So if they're having an issue, just acknowledge them and apologize, but don't delete the negative comments and just comment back.
Okay, perfect. So there is another question here that's asking, it says, do you have a package where we could utilize only the content writing like blogs, etc.?
Yeah, good question. So if you are a ServiceMax customer, then of course, you don't have to do all of those things that I had listed up on that slide. Blog post is just part of it. So we have our own ServiceMax blog as well. We could help kind of develop what that story is, what kind of the messages that you want to get out with that blog. Post it on your own website. We could do cross-posting on our blog site, and we could post, through a couple of different social channels as well. So as a ServiceMax customer, that just comes as part of the program.
Okay, perfect. There's a question here, and if I'm understanding it correctly, I think they're asking, do you have any advice or insight for marketing to like your current customer base? So I guess, anytime you're doing marketing, you're trying to attract new customers, but also, in terms of influencing your current install base in the hopes of, keeping their business and perhaps adding, incremental revenue as you go along, things like that. Can you speak to that at all in terms of advice for that, or, ways that you would handle them similarly or differently?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of thoughts come to mind. So I would, just think again about that relationship between your technicians, marketing, and sales. So marketing can kind of help come up with that message and craft that message that you want to be talking to your customers about, and then you can push that out through the different channels, so through your field service technicians or through your sales team. And then, depending on what that message is, maybe it's wanting to sell more of your preventative maintenance plans, and you're wanting to talk about all of the benefits of those different plans. You can do those in a number of different ways, maybe doing a customer newsletter. So you can, start off with a couple of best practices or, quick tips, or maybe it's highlighting different customer success stories that your customers have seen, again, using your product or through things like preventative maintenance plans. But, work with your marketing team and think about what those different messages could be. And as a field service technician, consider if there's any pain points that your customers are coming across a lot. And then, try to develop, what could be that solution. And again, maybe it's things like recording a video showing your technicians and solving some, common issues. There's a lot of different kind of forms of content that you could get that message across.
Got it. Okay, perfect. The next question is a really good one. It's asking, in terms of blogging, what is a general rule of thumb on how often we should blog?
That's a great question. We're trying to figure that out even at our own company. I want to say it depends on your own bandwidth. If you can be shooting for blogging once a month, I think that is a great first start. And it depends on how much bandwidth you have. I think, start off with trying to set a goal for yourself once a month. Then once you start kind of getting comfortable with that, maybe start blogging once a week. And maybe if there's any, current events that are going on, or, something big news comes out in your industry, you're going to want to comment on that, and you're going to want to comment on that quickly, again, to be establishing, your voice and your presence in this space. So I would say, try to shoot for maybe, 0 to 4 blog posts a month, I think. And it just depends on what you get comfortable with. And I know when I try to write, it can be really intimidating at first, just staring at that blank screen. But just, sit down, bang something out on the keyboard, and then you can always go back and edit it and recraft it. But I think the hardest part is starting.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay, good. So I think we are pretty much out of time for today. We had allotted 45 minutes for today, and we packed a lot into that time. So that's awesome. Melinda, I think the information you provided today was excellent. Very important topic for folks in the field service space and within our audience to be thinking about. So thank you for sharing your insight with us today. And everyone that joined us, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. There were a few very specific questions that we will follow up on after the event today. And hope you all have a good rest of your day.
Great. Thanks so much, Sarah. Thanks, everyone, for joining.